And good evening and welcome to another edition of Ralph's Opinion. Happy New Year. It's great to be back here talking with you in Ralph's Opinion. We're here every single Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. here on my social media platforms, Facebook, and also we are on YouTube, Kick, and we're on the we're also on the Twitter X platform. Your comments are welcome as always. We have a lot to talk about tonight. I know it's been a while since I've been on here. I restructured the show once again. Ralph's Opinion will just be Ralph's Opinion. We're not going to do no more the way I see it. What we are going to do is for this whole hour is we're going to split it up. The first half hour, we talk national topics such as about President Trump, what's going on in the world, what's going on around the country. Then the second half hour, we focus on the Delmarva region here and other topics that are not involving the president or anything else. We're also going to have our usual segment, the good, the bad, and the ugly of President Trump. All right, as we do every week here on Ralph's Opinion. It's great to be back. It's 2026. Happy New Year once again to you, and also to you and your family. All right. It's great to be back. I mean, I just don't know what more I can say. I had a great New Year's Eve, great New Year's Day, great holiday season. I'm hooked up now with the Sports Nuts, which I'm going to show you here in a couple seconds. All my sports programming now, including Wrestle Talk, are all going to be part of the Sports Nuts network, and I want to let you know that as well. All right. We are in the Mata Heating and Air Conditioning Studio, 724-201-0500, Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. You ought to call Mata today, Western Pennsylvania's #1 heating and air conditioning company. They also do UV lighting, and they also do not only just UV lighting, but they also do snow melt as well, Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. Give them a call today. That number again, 724-201-0500. They're our studio sponsor here. We are in the Studio 10 here in Berlin, Maryland, just outside of Ocean City, Maryland as well. Also, we're sponsored by Mike Dotson Realty, 410-596-1681, Mike Dotson Realty. Give him a call today. Look, Ocean City, once again, Ocean City, Maryland, is raising their hotel rates again. They are also not only just raising their hotel rates, but they're also raising the the tax for the hotel. So that means the rates will go up. My advice to you is to get yourself a short-term rental with Mike. Call him again. That number is 410-596-1681. Mike Dotson Realty, Ocean City, Maryland. Also, I want to talk to you today about our new sponsor, which I'm going to find the banner for that here. But I wanted to let you know, that's Sports Nuts, of course. But anyway, is the Bonfire Restaurant. Bonfire will not be open for the entire month of January, but just to put it in your mindset, and maybe give them a call and place a reservation if you're coming to Ocean City, Maryland. Check out the Bonfire Restaurant. Bonfire is a buffet restaurant. Some great food, mashed potato, the chicken. They have catfish. They have shrimp. They have seafood. They have prime rib. They have sliced ham, roast beef, carved. Oh, it is so good. All the food is delicious there. Buffet style restaurant, the Bonfire. Call them today, 410-524-7171. 410-524-7171. The Bonfire Restaurant, new sponsor here to the Ralph's Opinion Show and RW Media Productions as well. All right. Okay. Uh, let's get started with our show today. I've been getting a lot of emails. People want to know what I think about this situation in Venezuela. I'm not liking it, and I don't think anyone really should like it. Okay. All right. Uh, but a lot of people just don't like it at all. All right. Thank you. Trying to see who this is here. I can't quite tell who this is. All right. Yeah. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. So there you are. And I want to give a shout out uh to Brit Eye. Brit Eye. There we go. Thank you. And there you are. Okay. There you go. And okay, there we are. All right. And also Cool Deal and Brittany. There you go. All right. Okay. The Venezuelan situation. I know what all of you are thinking out there. All you progressive Democrats are sitting back there going, "You ain't on those boats. What was on those boats? Why did President Trump bomb those boats? Those boats had drugs on them. They were on their way to the United States. Yeah, he didn't get approval from Congress. You know what? I'm getting tired of that. And I know what you're saying. Well, that's part of the Constitution. It's wrong. That's what they're supposed to do. And you know, they should be doing it this way and all these other ways. But who cares? The bottom line is that Venezuela was sending drugs to the United States and they got caught. And President Trump warned that leader, Paduro, that he was going to do something. Did Paduro listen, pay attention to everything? Nah, he did not. Okay. That is exactly why I'm telling you today, right here on this show, that I like it. And those of you who are progressive Democrats out there, and you can hate me for this all you want, there are some of you who don't know okay. There are those of you who don't know that my, political show here, because a lot of you are used to me being on the Sports Nuts Network, which I don't have this show on. Okay. And a lot of you are out there or, wondering why I'm not talking sports tonight, because this is my political show. This is my national topic show. And I know what some of you are saying too. Well, Alf, you got 3 other radio shows. Why don't you put them on air? No, because those shows are not for that. We have syndicated radio programming out there of guys who make millions and millions of dollars that I only wish and dream that I could make. Okay. That's what they make. So let them talk about it. They get paid to do that. I'm here doing it right now. All right. So Maduro didn't listen. And then he started saying things about the president and then when the F-16 or the F-18 or whatever that fighter plane was showed up by our ship, our cruise or our warship on the outside of Venezuela, you poke the bear. And I always say you shouldn't poke the bear. Okay. The bear is President Trump. When you poke the bear, you're going to get it. You know what they say? You mess with the bull, you get the horns. Okay. This was a carefully planned, executed invasion or takeover of Venezuela to get back the oil mineral rights that are deserving of our country that a lot of you progressives don't understand. Okay. And not only was it just for that purpose, but it was also for the purpose of resurrecting Venezuela from a leader and a guy who was a tyrant. And now the vice president has taken over, but the United States is coming in and they're going to reform the government. They need to take a look at this vice president because now she's against the United States when the United States was for this woman eventually taking over the country. The United States is going to stay there. They're going to run this country. They're going to send people in. They're going to do what they need to do. And that's exactly what's going to happen. All right. So whatever you may think is what it is, it's not going to happen that way. You all you progressives out there, the Bernie Sanders of the world, the Chuck Schumers, the Hakeem Hassams, all these other people out there that like to do this and do absolutely nothing. You continue to run your mouth. Well, you didn't know what was on those boats. Who cares? There were drugs. Well, some innocent people got hurt. Innocent people always get hurt in a war. Okay? Watch some of these movies, Rules of Engagement. Watch Platoon. Watch some of these other war movies. And innocent people, they show you in war how innocent people get hurt. And that happens all the time. Okay? But you don't seem to understand it that way. You seem to think that perhaps it's, Ralph, they didn't get approval from Congress. Who cares? Congress would have said no anyway. Joe Biden wouldn't have done what President Trump is doing. Okay? And every one of you out there can sit there and tell me that President Trump's not a strong leader. Please don't tell me that, because it's not true. He's done more in this year than Joe Biden did in 4 years that he was president. And now he's working on drug manufacturers. He's going after them to lower prices. The tariffs are starting to slowly work. Okay? All right? And I brought this up too, and I'm going to bring it up here. Has the federal shutdown taught you a lesson of any kind? Has the federal shutdown, when the federal government was shut down, did it help you in any way? Did it do any good for you at all? Did it teach you a little bit of a lesson, maybe to start putting some money away? Maybe to start saving some money? Maybe to start having a plan B? Because as I've always said, I have a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. And sometimes a plan D. Okay? Cyberuski, good to see you back again. Happy New Year to you and Josh. Please say hello to Josh for me. Wish him a Happy New Year. Okay? And Cyberuski, we're back to Ralph's Opinion only. We will spend the first half hour or so talking national topics, and then in the second half, we go into other topics. Tonight, on our second half of the show, we're going to talk about a dynasty, a legacy newspaper that has gone out of business, will go out of business May 3rd. And I'm not happy about it because I got friends in that business. Okay? I got guys I personally don't like that are in that business, but I feel bad for them because they feed their families with that job. We'll talk about that later. All right. Now we're going to probably go after Colombia. We're helping Israel with Iran. You're probably sitting there going, well, we don't need to be getting ourselves involved. Yeah, we do. I've said this so many times. We need to worry about our own country, but there are certain things that when it comes to oil, when it comes to money, when it comes to gold, when it comes to something that's going to affect our country, we need to get involved. When it comes to terrorism, when it comes to tyrant dictators like the leader in Iran, the leader in whatever other country out there that thinks that they're beyond the United States or above the United States, you better think again. All right? They captured that ship today, the one that was the Russian ship heading to Venezuela. All right? Hooray for our military. Hooray for the American military. This was a victory in the agony of some defeats. Afghanistan was a mess. All right? We didn't really want to have boots on the ground, but we had to. We had to go take this dictator, his wife, get him to New York, get him charged. And that'll send a message to Colombia, Somalia, and all these other countries that think that they can just bring drugs into our... And look at Canada. Look at what President Trump did to Canada because Canada was bringing in fentanyl. He's gone after China. Okay? What other president has had the guts to go after these people? None. None. Joe Biden's too busy worrying about Bernie Sanders. Too busy worrying about Chuck Schumer. Too busy worrying about Akeem Hassan, you know? Too busy worrying about all those folks. President Trump gets work done around them because they don't want to sit there with him and work with him. They're upset still about this big, beautiful bill. It's going to affect Medicaid and SNAP benefits. SNAP benefits, you will get them. Medicaid, you will get it, but you got to go out and work. Got to go out and do some community service. Maybe go to your local church, work at the food bank. I've done that. Maybe go out and work. You got to work 80 hours a month or 60 hours. I don't know what it is. I'm not on Medicaid. Okay? I don't know what it is. And I was grandfathered in already, so that doesn't apply to me. All right? And if you don't know what grandfathered in means, is that I've been on it for 10 years. So I'm already in the system. These are for people who are new coming into the system. Because there are people out here who abuse the system. Don't you think that's wrong? To abuse the system like this? No, you don't think so. You think it's okay to do this. But it's not. It's not okay at all. It's disgusting and wrong. All right? That's Ralph's opinion tonight. All right. I started a little late tonight. I apologize. I had to fix a couple things. Make sure that we're broadcasting here on my channels, not on the Sports Nuts Network. But I want to tell you all of my program, all of it is on the Sports Nuts Network, okay? All right? All of it from now on. Tuesday, Saturday show. Tuesday, Sports Corner, Wrestle Talk. Here we go. I'm going to put that up real quick. There you go, Sports Nuts. Okay? All right? So make sure you tune in. Tuesday, 4 to 5 p.m., Sports Corner show with me, Ralph Williams, Smoking Jim Frazier. 5 p.m., the Wrestle Talk show with me, Ralph Williams, and Smoking Jim Frazier. Lots to talk about. Wednesday night, we're back here for the Ralph's Opinion show. All right? We're back here. Okay? Like Aerosmith says, I'm back in the saddle again. Happy New Year. So, one question I want to ask before we get into the good, the bad, and the ugly of President Trump tonight. What are your plans for the new year? Do you have any kind of plan at all? Do you plan on, do you have anything you want to do or accomplish for the new year? What do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish? Okay. So, but anyway, what do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish? Why? What's your plan? Do you even have a plan? Is there anything you want to do different in the new year? Do you want to improve your job? Do you want to improve your life? Do you want to improve your health? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to stop smoking, stop drinking? I don't think you'll do that. A lot of people don't. All right. Do you like what Robert Kennedy's doing right now? Well, we gotta make America healthy again. Okay. SNAP benefits now, supposedly, from what I understand, but it's based on state to state. West Virginia, Indiana. There's some states out there right now currently with SNAP benefits that you're not allowed to buy candy. You're not allowed to buy cupcakes. You're not allowed to buy anything that's junk-related food. You're not allowed to buy with food stamps. You're not allowed to buy potato chips. You're not allowed to buy pretzels. You're not allowed to purchase any of that stuff. That's coming up. If it's not already gone. I'm not on food stamps. I don't know. And I was grandfathered in. Those rules don't apply. Okay? There's food stamp fraud out there. Talk about that on my radio show this weekend. All right? And don't forget my radio shows on Saturday and Sunday. And here we are. All right. We're going to talk about some snap fraud that some numbskull who was running a small little grocery store in one of the neighborhoods in Pittsburgh. Stupid never takes a vacation. And I also do a segment called Shame on You. All right. All right. That's Ralph's opinion tonight. Let's talk a little bit about this guy, the one who shot the meathead. If you don't know who the meathead is, it's Rob Reiner, who played in All in the Family. He was the meathead. Director, actor, great guy, had not a good marriage with his wife, had a son that was involved in drugs, in and out of rehab, alcohol problems, and more. All right. So this guy has done this, and he decides to kill his parents because him and his dad got into an argument because his dad wanted to kick him out because he wasn't Rob Reiner, the meathead. Wanted to kick him out because he just wasn't, he just wasn't, following, living at the house, freeloading, maybe, I don't know. Didn't want to change himself. So he kicked him out, put him out on the street. And sometimes parents have to have tough love. It has to happen. You don't want it to happen, but it has to happen. Okay. So at this point in time, that's exactly what has happened. All right. So he just goes out there and kills him. And now he has a lawyer, Alan Jackson, not the singer. This guy's a high-priced lawyer, celebrity-type lawyer that is, I guess, somebody paid for. Who? I don't know. Maybe his drug buddies or somebody all pitched in or whatever. Okay? And he better not plead not guilty because he is. But, of course, you know what this lawyer's going to say. He's guilty or not guilty by reason of insanity. He was insane. He was mentally challenged. And you'll get some sorry-ass judge, and that's right, I put it to you, sorry-ass judge, that'll sit there and go, oh, I feel so bad for this guy. Really? See, that's progressives. It's all about treatment. It's all about letting people out on bail. It's all about all that. And you want to know why President Trump has the National Guard in your town? Because your town's government doesn't know what they're doing. Okay. So, what are your thoughts about what happened to the meathead? Ralph Williams 737 at gmail.com. Facebook. We're on my Sports Corner Facebook page. The Way I See It page. Okay. Also on one of my other Facebook pages, if you can find it. We're on YouTube Live. We're on Twitter X. And we're on the Kick Network. Working on getting back on Twitch for this program. Okay? We're back in the saddle. I'm here, man. I'm happy. It's great. I want to thank Brandon Keeler for letting me put my sports programming on the Sports Nuts Network. Okay? All right, who do we have here? Do I have a fear of getting old? No. Not at all. I do not. But I thank you for commenting on that. That's a good question. We're all going to get old eventually. But I don't have a fear of getting old. This year, coming up in September, I will be 10 years in a wheelchair. 10 years of being disabled. But I don't let my disability set me back. I get up every day and I'm on social media. I put out my Ralph Report. I took a break from that for the holidays a little bit. Probably could do more and should do more. Okay. And I could, and I should. I'm finally getting back on TikTok, back on Instagram, back on LinkedIn. All right. Finally, LinkedIn got a hold of me, and they finally informed me that I need X amount of followers to be able to broadcast my shows on LinkedIn. And I need 150. So I need your help. Okay. Let's see here. Joe says I have no idea is why. Okay, hold on a minute here. It says I have no kids is why. Well, I don't have any either. Actually, I do. I have a daughter in Arizona. We don't get along. That's because of her mother. I'm not going to go into that story because that's none of nobody's business. Okay. But no, I don't fear getting old, Joe. I really don't. I mean, that's just what's going on right now. Or days, this is the handle here. Check that. Okay. The beginning of my year, 2025, was a little rough because it's 2024 went out with a bang because we had a shooting in the building I was living in. And that's when I made the decision to come down here to Berlin, Maryland. My family and I, we decided we're going to uproot and come down here. I spent my whole life in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I had someone ask me the other day, why did I leave Pittsburgh? I did a show last May of last year. As soon as I got down here, the top 10 reasons why, it's a Ralph's Opinion show, so you can check it out, why I left Pittsburgh. There's 10 reasons. Check out that show. One of them is because the media up there was treating me like a redheaded stepchild. Okay. I recently had a radio station who I worked hard to try to convince that they need to put my shows on their radio station, decided to play games with me and my radio agent in Pittsburgh. And here we are. This is exactly what I'm talking about. So I took my Ralph Williams show for weekdays because I can't get a slot up in Pittsburgh and moved it to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So I get all these emails. Oh, you're a traitor, Ralph. Oh, Ralph, you're a traitor. No, I'm not a traitor. I'm going where I'm welcomed. Now I have a weekend show up in Pittsburgh, which I just showed you earlier. Not only do I have the Ralph Williams show, but I also have, okay, I also have Sports Corner Radio Show every Tuesday or every Saturday, 2 to 3 p.m. with me, Ralph Williams, Smoking, Jim Frazier, Claudia Rosano, Luther Dupree. And tonight I'll be on at 9 o'clock with these gentlemen on Steel City Sports World on YouTube and Facebook, coming up at 9 o'clock. Okay? So you can tune into that. We're going to be talking about the Steeler game and the upcoming game. Sports Nuts, Tuesdays and Fridays, 7:30. Okay? On the Sports Nuts Network. Tune into Pensman Sports. Tune into, here we go, Pensman Sports. He does a lot of the live streaming play-by-play for games. So does Tiger Stripes Media with Brian Pettit. We all are working together now. It's RW Media Productions working with Sports Nuts Network, and we're on the Sports Nuts Network now. We're radio stations across the country in Texas, Oklahoma, Mississippi, just to name a few, Buffalo, okay? Seattle, all right? This is where RW Media Productions has gone. We're with the Sports Nuts Network, working closely with them. All right, the good, the bad, and the ugly this week of President Trump, and that's Ralph's opinion tonight. All right. Let's go into our emails here on the email line. So let's take a look here. Sorry about the dead air a little bit there. All right. We're going into our emails. All right. This email is from Jake. Jake is from Butler County, Pennsylvania. He said, Ralph, it's good to see you back here on the Ralph's Opinion Show. It's good to see that you condensed it down to just Ralph's opinion, which thank you. I follow you on social media and will continue to do so. I like your programming. And I'm glad that you're now hooked up with the Sports Nuts. That's Jake. Ralph Williams 737 at gmail.com. Okay. Sponsorship advertising available. Look at the ticker tape below. All right. We have all kinds of package deals. You can do the podcasts here. You can do the radio shows, just solely those. You can do my website, www.rwmediaproductions.com. Okay. Check out my Ralph reports on YouTube, Facebook, Facebook, Twitter X, Instagram, and now TikTok. I'm working on getting live on TikTok. Expanding my brand. It's Ralph's opinion tonight. All right, let's get into the good, the bad, and the ugly of President Trump, as I promised you. All right. The ugly part about this is there's still the Epstein files are floating out there. What did President Trump know about what happened with this Epstein files? We owe it to the families. We owe it to them people. All right. The guy killed himself. President Clinton's involved. President Obama knew about something. Joe Biden, cleaned Epstein's toilets. I don't know. I don't know much about that thing. I do know that some women were molested or assaulted by this guy, and he's a pig and a pervert. And but he killed himself. He died. It's over. But the files are continuing to linger. That's looking ugly for President Trump right now. What else is ugly is this thing with Venezuela. That's a good thing. Today, capturing that boat, that's the good thing. The military getting involved. The National Guard in some of these cities where it's needed is good. It's needed in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Hasn't arrived there yet. All right. Working on lowering prices of Medicare, medications. Gave the farmers billions of dollars. And where did that come from? The tariffs. Gave our military a raise. Where did that come from? The tariffs. We're getting supposed to be getting a $2,000 stimulus check coming soon. Where'd that come from? The tariffs. He's giving the money back that the tariffs are making. Okay? That's exactly what he's doing. That's fine, Pensman, but thank you for coming in and commenting. That's the good, the bad, and the ugly tonight of President Trump. All right. Now we're going to get into some other topics at hand. All right. One of them is very frustrated today when I found out that the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette is shutting down May 3rd of this year. It's sad but true. Really sad, really awful. Hate to say it. Not happy at all about this. It's been around for many, many years. At one time in Pittsburgh, we had two newspapers, the Pittsburgh Press and the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. The Post-Gazette put the morning paper out. The Press put the evening paper out. The Press put the Sunday paper out. Okay? They were owned by the same people, but this functioned as two separate entities. Then a merger happened. There was a strike, and they decided to make it all the Post-Gazette. That was back in the early 90s. I got one thing to say. Alan Block and the Block family who own Toledo newspapers and newspapers other than the Post-Gazette across the country, I want to say shame on you. Shame on you for letting everyone stay out on strike for 3 years. 3 years you made those folks stay out on strike. Then on top of that, you had a court order, okay? And I'm going to use an example here of this court order because it's disgusting that you had this court order, and what you did was you cried and cried and cried the blues with this court order because you were upset because you had to pay out. You had to pay back every striker back pay from the time the strike started till the time the strike ended. Reason being is because you broke the law, and the strikers challenged you on it. Now you want to stick it to them by closing down the newspaper, and now that affects everybody who likes to open. I still open up a newspaper and read it. Down here, we have 2 newspapers and they're free. Free. I might go into Wawa and get a USA Today. I might get a Baltimore Sun. I might get a couple other papers. I get the Philadelphia Inquirer online because I have my talk show in Philly on WWDB 860 AM. All right. Every Wednesday, 3 to 4 p.m. So, close down the newspaper May 3rd. Then here we go again. And, I hate when people do this. You failed to tell everybody until you released it today. And reporters, friends of mine, had to find out today that they're not going to have a job May the 3rd. What, you couldn't let them know a year in advance? And you used the excuse that the court ordered you to pay all these strikers back the money you owed them because you broke the law and took their health care away from them when you shouldn't have. And you played around with them and let them stay out on strike for 3 years and laughed about it, thought it was funny, and you went ahead and you stuck it to them. Now you really stuck it to you didn't stick it to just the strikers. You stuck it to everybody. The people who delivered those papers now don't have a job. I remember when you could deliver the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, and you could make a lot of money delivering it. Not anymore. Okay? And I know what you're saying. Well, people don't read print newspaper anymore, Ralph. Yes, they do. There's people that enjoy getting up in the morning as part of their routine, picking up the newspaper and reading it and drinking a cup of coffee or orange juice or tea or whatever the heck they drink in the morning. Okay? All right? All right, check this video out real quick. I'll be right back. All right, we're back here for Ralph's Opinion. Every Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m., we're back in the saddle again. And I love every minute of it, too. So the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette's a goner. Out, May 3rd, gone. Hope you're proud of yourself, Alan Block. I really am. Because you're nothing but a no-good pig. And a no-good piece of crap. And a no good altogether. And I hope that all your newspapers fall. Because of what you've done to these people is unacceptable to me. And it should be unacceptable to everybody in Pittsburgh here who watches this program and he's hearing what I'm saying, listens to my radio shows, because doggone well this weekend I'm going to beat the Post-Gazette up on both shows. I would have done it today, but I didn't know about it until after my show was over. Okay? In Philadelphia. It's disgusting. Now Pittsburgh does not have a big time newspaper. There's a few small ones. They just shut down the City Paper, which was a free newspaper that was owned by the Block family. You could go out in the stands, in the paper stands. They used to have them out there. It said City Paper on it. You could put ads in there, all different types of stuff. You could put an advertisement in there, pay for it. It was a free paper, arts and entertainment and stuff like that. Interesting articles too. But that's not around anymore either. Alan Block. Gone for Pittsburgh. All right. Let's see who we have here. All right. Says, I read the newspaper. Al Bundy style. Absolutely. And I know what you mean. A lot of people do that. But thank you for commenting. Thank you for watching tonight. It's not over yet. Ocean City, Maryland. That's Ralph's opinion about the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Alan Block, you're disgusting. I'm going to beat you up this weekend on my shows because what you've done is unacceptable. Ocean City, Maryland. City Council once again picking on short-term rentals. Here we go again. They gotta favor their hotel buddies. All their hotel friends. Problem with Ocean City is Ocean City wants it all. The government wants it all to themselves. The hotels, they want it all. Everybody in Ocean City wants it all. Can't have it that way. There's pieces of the pie that you could have, but no, you want the whole pie and you don't want to share any of it. So now you're going to continue this crap, Rick Meehan and City Council. And yes, I'm back again telling you exactly what I think about what you're doing here in Ocean City, which is wrong. Okay? All right? I hear these people, they get on the news, and I've never in my life, in Delaware, in Ocean City, whiners. All you do is complain. All you do is cry. You know? That's all you do. And you think, you whine because you don't want retail. You don't want office buildings. You don't want apartments. But then property taxes go up in Delaware, and you're the first one on the news complaining and moaning and groaning because you don't want all this traffic. Short-term rentals. I don't want people living in my neighborhood. I don't know who they are. Next door, they get a short-term rental. I don't know half the time who's going to be here. Some of them, they party and cause problems. I know what Ocean City's doing. They're trying to cut back on having the police go to these short-term rentals who cause problems. I already figured it out, Rick Meehan. You don't want to pay the police department full-time, so what you do is you have your police department in the summertime, you have your beach patrol, and then in the off-season, you have state police taking care of Ocean City. I know, because I've seen them there. Once in a while, I'll see an Ocean City officer, but there's not too many of them. Because Ocean City kind of shuts down from November maybe to, I wouldn't say shuts down, but I mean, it's called the off season. Just like in sports, baseball, football, all the sports have an off season. But anyway, going after short-term rentals again. Can't let them have the piece of the pie. But then you're going to raise, hotels are going to have to raise rates because Worcester County decided, in their infinite wisdom, to raise the taxes on hotels up 1%. Okay? 1%. It's really kind of crazy, isn't it? But this is what Rick Meehan and the city council people do here in Ocean City. Okay? My postal address is in Berlin, Maryland, but technically I live in West Ocean City. In all actuality. Okay. There's going to be a Monday night when I'm going to show up at Ocean City City Council meeting and I'm going to say something about this because it's unacceptable. If I decide to run for politics, you never know. It's a little easier down here than it is up in Pittsburgh. Okay. Because you got all those progressives and you got all these young voters up there who think that it's nice to just send somebody out with no bail and, treatment for mental health, which I get. That's fine. Find treatment, get treatment for them. Put out murderers who murder people 6 times. You put them out. You let them run around. You let juveniles run all over the place. Fortunately for me, Ocean City doesn't do that. They have a very strict policy. I saw it with homeless. Okay. Good commentary. Thank you. But then Ocean City complains because no people come here and spend the day and go home. Wouldn't you? But you want to eliminate short-term rentals and chase more people out. There's a lot of people now who have told me this, that going on a cruise, going to Myrtle Beach, going to Florida is cheaper than going to Ocean City, Maryland. So where do you think these people are going to go? Exactly. They're not going to pay the prices for the hotel, so they'll come and spend the day and go home. And you don't even know if some of these people spend any money when they're here for a day. At least if you get them for 3-4 days, they'll spend something. But you only got them for a day. They're walking around. They might be broke. They might just be there just to walk around. They might get a drink. They might have their own food. I don't know. But let's say, for instance, I have a family of 6. That's for instance now. This is hypothetical. I have a family of 6 kids. And I bring this big cooler and walk around on a boardwalk. And don't buy anything. That's the type of people you're going to get, Rick Meehan, because you don't make it attractive enough for people to come here. You've eliminated the rock concert, the big festival you had in May. You eliminated that for this year, claiming you couldn't get any big-time artists here, which I find that hard to believe. I found out it's a logistical problem that you had. And it backfired. Not enough food, not enough drinks. You were double charging people on the boardwalk and whatnot. I got all the complaints about that. What, Rick, you think I don't have an audience? I do. People email me all the time. There's people down here, they want me to run for politics because they know about my ambition, the way I want to do things, the way I'll get things done. I'm not a nothing kind of person. I was once called by a former media person that I worked with that I'm lazy. Okay? Maybe I am in his opinion. But I'm not lazy. I bust my butt to make this right. I bust my butt to put this programming on here and make practically nothing. Practically nothing. Okay? I do it for the love of this, the microphone. I do it because I love it. If I could do it 24 hours, I would, but I can't. Okay? And you would think that because I'm handicapped, you probably would respect me a little bit more on this. But Maryland, there's a lot of issues here in Maryland that need to be solved. A $1.5 billion deficit again. It went from $2 billion down to $1.5 billion. We have a governor here in Westmore who wants to spend, give. I have no problem with that. But when you do it too much, what happens? You go broke. Look at our country. How broke we were because we gave to everybody. We gave $385 million to Vladimir Zelensky, who didn't change his shirt. We gave Sudan, who blew up our embassy at one time and started our military at our embassy. and held hostages and done this and done that. We got to give him food money. We got to give Gaza money. You know what? I haven't heard from them lately. That ceasefire kind of calms some things down. You still got Russia and you still got Ukraine out there fighting amongst each other. Can't come up with a peace plan. It's not going to work. Putin don't want peace. He likes war. Okay? Rick Meehan, he wants it all. Ocean City wants it all. But there's a pie, and the cake gets cut into pieces, and you can't have it all. I've tried for years to have my cake and eat it too. You can't. In some perspective. I had this young kid who I saw on a sports radio show in Pittsburgh who shouldn't even be there. He has no clue what he's talking about Pittsburgh sports. None. Okay? None. He's going to sit there and say, they say you can't have your cake and eat it too. Well, you have to eat your cake in order to have it. Really? It's a saying. It's an old saying. You can't have your cake and eat it too. And that's the truth. Rick Meehan in Ocean City wants your cake and eat it too. Delaware, you're never satisfied. All you people in Delaware, mostly elderly, all you do is complain. They want to fix Rehoboth Beach. You're complaining about the gates they want to put up for crowd control for the concerts. You're complaining because they're eliminating parking spaces. You're complaining because they won't put retail. They want to put retail up. You're complaining because about housing, and then you're saying, "Well, we need more affordable housing." Okay, but even if you pay $4,000 a month rent or whatever it is with these fancy condos, I'm going to paint you a perspective here. Those people will shop at the stores that you put up. The stores will create jobs. They will pay taxes. And guess what, folks? Your property taxes will go down. There's an old Italian thing called capiche. You know what capiche means? Do you understand what I'm saying? Before all you folks in Delaware, and I have nothing against Delawareans, I really don't. But I have a problem that when I watch the news every night and I see you on there going, I don't want too much traffic. Makes the neighborhood, you could do something better with that land. It's sitting there, not collecting tax money. Your property taxes are going up. The state's in deficit, and you're sitting there complaining and getting mad. But then your property taxes go up and you go, oh, the government's no good. My property taxes are going up. It's like no matter what it is, nobody in Delaware is satisfied. Nobody in Delaware is happy. Nobody in Delaware wants anything. Nothing. You know why? Because your nothing ex-president lives there. Who did nothing, practically nothing, who let China get away with stealing from our farmers, who let other countries dictate, Afghanistan. That withdrawal, I would have told the Taliban to stick it up your ass. Oh, well, there was agreement by the Trump administration. No, Trump's not that dumb. There was no agreement. Joe Biden made that agreement. And now they have our equipment, our drones that they're keeping and messing with. Iran might have some of them. Iran's back to causing problems again. And I know what you're saying to me, Ralph. We need to worry. But yeah, my nurse said that to me today. I have a nurse that comes in here, takes care of my wounds on my leg. In case you don't know, I was hospitalized in November. I was off the air here for a couple of weeks to recover. I'm not going to go into it again. I already have. Don't feel like it tonight. Okay? Watch my archive versions of some of my shows and you'll know what's going on. But you think about this for a second before, a lot of people in this country don't think before they open their mouth. And what happens is something comes out that does, You stick your foot in your mouth. Now, I admit I stuck my foot in my mouth. I was talking to an old friend today on the phone, friend of mine, who's going to come on my show, the Ralph Williams Show, part-time. He was with me full-time. But I had to let him heal. Tony Moreno, who ran for mayor in Pittsburgh and lost, who's one of his activist people who helped in his campaign, passed away at the same time. His daughter was having problems with her pregnancy, and somebody was in intensive care in his family. Then he moved. So all that, I let him heal. I talked to him today. He's excited. He's coming back part-time. He's going to be on one of my shows all the time, but not both of them. Okay? All right? So, yeah, that's right. My nurse said to me today, we need to mind our own business and worry about our own country. Yes, we do. But President Trump is worrying about our country. He's making our country money that wasn't made before. The farmers got money. The military got money. You might be getting a $2,000 stimulus checks if you work and pay taxes. Not sit around and play Xbox when you can work and you know who you are. That's right. I'm back with that again. And I'll keep on doing that until you get up off your lazy ass and go out there and work before Social Security shuts down. And that affects me, and that affects a lot of other people, and that affects your aunts, your grandparents, your family. Because I know every American in this country, somebody in their family is on Social Security. Somehow, some way. But you're part of that idiot progressive movement that doesn't care, that wants to give money to lazy people who don't want to work. I can't do a labor job of any kind. All right. I would be willing to go to a food bank and help out. I've done it. I'd be willing to go to church and help out. I've done it. I'm an Eagle Scout. I was in the Boy Scouts. I've done it. Volunteered. I've done it. Volunteered at the Bible camp. I've done it. I have a right to sit here on this microphone tonight and call you, the one who's the lazy bum, a lazy bum. Because you know why? I've done it. No, I wasn't a lazy bum, but I've worked. I've done it. 35 years of customer service. I've done it. I'm into my second marriage. My first wife's up in heaven with the Lord. I've done it. I've had some bad relationships. I've done it. I've been broke. I've done it. I've been bankrupt. I've done it. I've done it. I've done it. I've done it. So before you get ignorant with me, email me, call me on the phone, scream and holler on my comment section that I don't know what's going on here. If you can work, go out and work. Because if you don't, your grandma, your aunt, your family, your sister, your cousin, somebody, which of course you probably don't care because we still live in this I don't care society. And it's all coincide together as we don't care, laziness. And let's just look out for number one, forget everybody else. And I'm not here to preach the Bible, but it says in the 10 Commandments, love thy neighbor as thyself. Respect your mother and your father. Thou shalt not commit adultery. But you do it. You don't respect your neighbor. You don't respect elderly people. You don't respect your mother and your father. You respect the Xbox. You respect social media. I don't have a problem with social media. I'm on it. But I'm not on there with naked pictures. I'm not on there doing stupid things. I'm not on there jumping off of a bridge. I'm not on there doing dumb stuff, which 10,000s and 20,000s and 50,000 people participate in. The idiot Paul brothers. You love them to death. Why? I don't know. Brandon Keeler, the sports nuts. Myself, Pensman Sports, Tiger Stripes Media. Claudia Rosano, Luther Dupree, Smoking Jim Frazier. We all put out good material on social media here, and you don't follow us and you don't subscribe because you're too worried about the Paul brothers. You're too busy worrying about being lazy and playing with the Xbox and sitting there horsing around on a joystick. You don't want to work. $50 an hour is not enough. You need $100 an hour. $20 an hour isn't enough. You need $30 an hour. If minimum wage went up to $15 an hour, you'd still complain. Yeah, we have a housing problem. Rent's too high. There's people living in RVs. California, they can't keep used RVs because you know why? Because the homeless people, they're buying them up like water and they're moving into communities and they're parking them right there. We're in a crisis of homeless people. We're in a crisis of food shortage. The biggest country in the world, the most almighty United States, and we have these problems. And you know what? You make your own bed, you sleep in it. I've heard that too. Been there and done it. I've had egg on my face. I've stuck my foot in my mouth. I've tried to have my cake and eat it too and did not. I've done it. I've been there. Happy New Year. Ralph's Opinion is back. And I'm back here, passionate, on the microphone. And I'm here. And I'm telling you like it is, the way it is. And that's the way I see it too. We took that out. It's Ralph's Opinion now. But I still can say the way I see it. All right? I'm Ralph Williams. Don't forget, 9 o'clock, I will be on the Steel City Sports World show with Luther Dupree, Claudia Rosano, Smoking Jim Frazier, Big Row, and Fillmore. Tune in, Facebook and YouTube. Subscribe to them. Subscribe to the Sports Nuts. Subscribe to all of us that work with the Sports Nuts. Subscribe. Like and subscribe. Follow us on our platforms. We're not the Paul brothers, but you want tens and thousands of people. If somebody threw an egg at a dog, they would get 50,000 subscribers, but I can't. I'm Ralph Williams. Yeah, let me talk to you. What do you want to talk about? Ralph Williams 737 at gmail.com. Anything you want to talk about, national topics, you email me and tell me. My Philadelphia show, all my Philadelphia friends out there that listen to my show now on WWDB 860 AM on Wednesdays, 3 to 4 p.m. What do you want me to talk about? All my subscribers and friends in Pittsburgh that still have a thought process to care about what I do in media other than the other has-beens and the other ones out there that don't deserve to be on the microphone, that treated me like a redheaded stepchild. I thank you for participating. What do you want me to talk about? Okay? Yes, I am. I had a show once called the Bible Capsule. I may be bringing it back in the off season, but I've been busy on Sundays with football, busy on Saturdays with college football. So now that that's kind of tailed off a little bit, I might bring it back. Then again, I might not. I don't know. I'm getting into UFL. We're going to do a UFL show this year. United Football League. My Ralph's Opinion show, my Wrestle Talk show, is possibly going to be on a radio station in North Carolina. The Ralph Williams show is spreading out all across the country. It starts in Philly and it works its way because Pittsburgh dropped the ball. I am a Christian. I believe in God. I read the Bible. I pray. I used to go to church up in Pittsburgh until I've gotten settled in down here. One of my New Year's resolutions is to get into a church down here. Haven't done so yet. Will do so real soon. Because you know why? 10 Commandments says, thou shalt not kill. And let me bring something to you real quick here. All right? I want you to watch the movie Any Given Sunday. It's a football movie. And Al Pacino has a priest that says a prayer before and after the games. And you know what the what the priest said. I'm just going to use this piece of paper here, but he picks up the Bible and he says, "This is my playbook. This is God's playbook." So the Bible is God's playbook against Satan because he beats Satan all the time. And if you believe in God, and I'm not here to preach by no means, I am an ordained officiant minister. I can officiate weddings, which as soon again as I get myself settled here and some things straightened out, I'm going to start doing that. But I got to find out what Maryland laws have. Okay? All right. I am an officiant wedding minister. I can officiate weddings, baptisms, funerals. Okay? Yeah, I believe I have Bibles. I have books. I watch Joe Osteen. I watch T.D. Jakes, Joyce Meyer, Dr. Charles Stanley. And yes, I am going to start going to church this year. But we've had some bumps and bruises and potholes getting settled in down here. So I, just didn't really get together. I watched my church in Pittsburgh online. When I went to Pittsburgh, we went to church. The church that we were part of before we left here to come down here. Yes, I am a Christian. All right. God says to give and receive. I've received some good things and I've helped people with them. All right. Okay. God helps those who help themselves. If you pray to God every day and you tell him, look, but not only just pray for yourself, pray for everybody. Pray for other people. Pray for your neighbor. Pray for your friends. Pray for your church. Pray for the mechanic that fixes your car. Pray for it. Pray for our country. I had a pastor, real quick before I get off. I have to get off the air. I have to be on at 9:00 with Still See Sports World. And I like to take a little bit of a breather before that. Get my thoughts together for sports. Okay? Let me explain something to you. I had a pastor who was filling in for our pastor who was out for a health problem. Okay? And he said, what if God sometime, and he was big on the book of Revelation, by the way. He said, what if God just went like this? Forget everybody. Listen to the song by Reba McEntire called We Need to Give Our World Back to God. Because what she says is true. We have failed here. We have failed. This country has failed altogether with that. And I'm not going to sit here and preach because that's not my job. People say I should be a preacher. People say I should go out and speak out in the speaking public to handicapped people and elderly people and tell you that there's no gloom and doom out there. You can do a lot of things. Because somebody that thinks because they're in a wheelchair, I'm in a wheelchair. Well, you see, I'm doing this. I want all my handicapped brethren. And when you get disrespected, I want you to come and talk to me. I want you to email me. I want you to tell me, Ralph, I live in Texas and they're disrespecting me. And I'll call them out right here on this program and don't think nothing of it. I battled for transit. I battled for everything. I battled for the church. I was a deacon. I was on church council in the one church I was at. I was on the board of directors of a Bible camp. I was in charge of maintenance at a Bible camp. I volunteered at a Bible camp. Yes, I am a Christian. Okay? The Romans fought each other back in the day when Jesus was around. There's always going to be war. There's always going to be fighting. But there needs to be peace. And as long as we have some of what we have, yes, Satan around, there will never be peace all along. But God will keep it in line. We are the luckiest country in the world. We got it all. Go to China, go to Russia, go to some of these other countries that have nothing. They have no running water. They have to dig ditches. When flooding happens, they have no food. They have a dictator who just simply they slaughter people. They do all malicious things. Go there one time and then come back here and talk to me and I'll listen to you. You don't realize what you have until you've seen it. And read the Bible, because there's a lot of good things. That should be your playbook. It's mine. It should be yours. Yes, I am a Christian. I believe. I pray. And yes, I watched my church service up in Pittsburgh from the church I went to up there. Our country needs a lot of prayer. So pray. Okay? The more you pray, the less Satan will bother you. The more you pray, the more you get into God's playbook, the Bible, the more you'll have a better life. You'll be more content as to what you have instead of being greedy and looking for more, 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 more. Sit back, be content. I'm content on what I have. I don't have 50,000 viewers right now. I don't have 50,000 subscribers. I would love to. I pray every day that happens. And yes, God helps those that help themselves. But I've had a lot of setbacks that have caused me not to have what I really want. I've been screwed over. I've been stabbed in the back. Last year was a tough year for me at some point. The end of the year came out right. The last 3 months of the last year came out really well. I had good holidays. My birthday was good. The only problem is I was in a hospital. We moved down here. We didn't realize some of the things that we didn't scout the state out well enough. That's on me. That's on us. But I admit when I'm wrong. I admit when I have egg on my face. I admit when I stuck my foot in my mouth. I admit. A lot of you out there don't want to admit anything. You have too much. You think you have too much pride. 50 million Americans qualify for food stamps and won't take them because they got to work, because they got to do something, because they got to do this, they got to do that. It's too much pride. I would never let myself get into that position. That's something that you need to do as well. I'll be back next week with more of my gospel. You got me going, man. I might just put on some kind of a Christian-based show and talk about the Lord and the Bible. I might just do that again. Because I'm having a lot of fun doing it. Okay? Just might do that. But I know how to balance my time, my family, and this. And right now, I don't have the time to do that. If I did, I would. I would. Because people said I should become a pastor. Because I'm outgoing to speak. I'm not afraid to talk, and I know what I'm talking about. You have yourself a great night. Happy New Year. Hope this year's better than last. And this 2026, what do you want me to talk about? Email me, ralphwilliams737@gmail.com as mailbag. And also your comments are welcome. And down below here on the ticker take is the information for sponsorship advertising. Very affordable rates. Until next week, have yourself a great one. And we'll be back next Wednesday for Ralph's Opinion. Until then, be safe.